Hey, everybody, and good morning, and welcome to episode 82 of Standing Out, a daily podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership powered by Beta Consulting Group. I'm Trey Griggs, founder and CEO of Beta Consulting Group, and we would love the opportunity to work with you. Check us out at betaconsultinggroup.com. We're all about helping companies tell their story to help with their branding, messaging, content creation, podcasting if they want to, social media management, all of that good stuff, all about telling their story. So check us out and fill out a form. We'd love to work with you and see how we can help you out with that. Also, quick shout out to our sponsor, TAFS. Had the chance to be in the TAFS headquarters yesterday, which was awesome with those guys over there. They are the good guys in freight factoring. So check them out at tafs.com or click on the link that Morgan's going to put into the comments today. And that'll take you directly to my landing page with TAFS, and you can get started with them. They're providing discounts for carriers, keep them on the road, for fuel, for tires, factoring services as well, small business loans, insurance needs, all the things that they need to truly thrive out on the road. So make sure you check them out. Click that link that's going to be in the comments later today and get started with TAFS. Even if you're a broker, you can become a referral partner and make sure that your carriers have everything they need to stay on the road and continue moving your freight. All right, so we've had a great week of shows so far. I'm very excited about today's show. This guy's somebody who is the inspiration for Standing Out. He's somebody I talked to and gave me the idea that, hey, maybe you should go live and do a show. I think you do well at that. And I was just very appreciative of his guidance during all of that. So everybody, please welcome to the show my good friend, Dan Deigan. DJ Flores, what? Hey, where's Dan? What's going on?
What's up, everybody?
How are you, man?
You got me today.
Yeah, good to see you. We caught a little audible today, didn't we?
That's right. You know? Audibles. We're good at those on Sales Chatter. So
that's right.
I figured
sometimes
we just
that happens.
Follow that right through.
Sometimes that happens. So everybody, please welcome the co-host of Sales Chatter, DJ Flores. Man, good to have you on the show today. So excited that you're here. Dan was supposed to be on the show. He had an issue that came up, and you stepped in and the next man up, as they say. And so really appreciate you being here and being a part of that. When you and I started talking, you and Dan and I started talking, I saw what you guys were doing. I was like, man, that's awesome. I love that. I want to be a part of that. You guys were gracious enough to have me on the show. And then we're like, man, you should do this. And,
you're killing it, man. You're killing it. I mean, yeah, you coming on, you were perfect. And yeah, when we talked after and Dan was like, you should do this yourself. And I was like, yes, you should. Why don't you? You're seriously what you've been able to put together so fast is amazing. So good job.
I was like, teach me how. Tell me how to do it. Because there was so much to learn, but it's just been an incredible journey. We got the Freight Sensei in the audience today. Always good to see Scott Watanabe. What's up, brother? Yeah, this is a great audible. Absolutely. It's going to be an awesome show. And for those people, DJ, that might not know who you are, why don't you give a quick introduction, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to dig in.
Oh man. Well, so co-host Sales Chatter Live again. Was blessed to have Dan invite me, and kind of he's shown me the ropes as well. So Trey, just like you, he's shown me how to be comfortable behind this camera here. Prior to doing this, I was never on camera, never sharing a screen, and never brave enough to do this on my own. So props to you for doing that too. I could have never done this. I like to be, like I said when we started the show, I like to be the Robin instead of Batman. So Dan's the Batman. I'll be Robin all day. I just love doing it. Been in sales my whole life. Started in retail, went to in-home sales. I've pretty much sold anything and everything you could possibly think of, from door to door to meat in the back of a truck to anything, anything.
What did you sell door to door?
So I've sold little coupon books to utilities. So phone service to home security. Anything.
Nice. You know the grind then. You know the grind. I'm not surprised to hear you say that, because I feel like I can always tell people that have had that experience. They're different. It's a different animal to go door to door, to be able to do that. I did it for 15 months, and man, it's the best training you'll ever get for sales is going door to door.
Oh, it's insane, man. It's insane. In-home sales, well, door-to-door is pretty much the same, but yeah, in-home sales it's another monster in itself. You're going to, it's kind of like that home territory, that home field advantage, but you're going into somebody else's home. You have no clue. And I've walked into some crazy things, but you have
I'm
no
sure
clue what
the stories.
walk into.
Yeah. Oh, the stories are amazing. I did commercial, business to business, door to door stuff. So I never got the residential feel, but
Oh
I've
man.
been sold residentially. In fact, I had one of my former students who came and sold us Cutco knives, and I
I've
literally,
sold Cutco.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
sold Kirby too.
I gave this kid a shot because he was one of my students and I love him to death. And he's kind of a fringe kid, but he came and I said, yeah, you can come over, you can pitch us. I mean, I don't know if we're going to buy anything. This guy blew us away so much that my wife's like, yeah, we're buying these. I'm like, oh, we are? Okay. So, if you do door to door, you got to really blow people away. Like you got to
Yes.
make it like, oh my gosh, I can't live without this. And,
Yeah.
so I've got some good memories being sold, vacuum salesman, those types of things. But man, if you can go door to door and make a living somehow, sell something and make a living, that's huge. And
Yes,
so
sir. Yes,
it's
sir.
nice to know that that's the background a little bit. What else have you done from a sales perspective?
So the in-home sales, home improvements, and then ended up getting into logistics. I got blessed to find the wonderful world of logistics 5 years ago. Started just brokerage. I never really got into anything other than that. Was a broker for one of the larger 3PLs, and had a friend actually I was doing home security with. He said, "Hey, you would love this." I said, I got to be in front of people. I want to see them. I want to know what they're thinking, saying. Like that's what I'm good at. I can't call somebody on the phone. You're crazy. So I actually blew him off for like 2 months, and thankfully he stuck on me. And yeah, it's been amazing.
Okay, so let me ask you this question because this is my thought and been my experience. Was it significantly easier selling something else after doing door to door? Did you find it to be pretty easy?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I'm telling
yeah,
you,
because you're not surprising. So most other things you're not surprising somebody totally that was
yeah,
not even thinking of. Yeah, I'm going to try to sell you the security when you were not even thinking about security.
right, right. It's like you walk in that day and you're trying to sell them that day. For me, it was like toner and paper, it was office supplies, and the whole job was getting in, getting past the decision, the gatekeeper, finding the decision maker, and then somehow convincing that guy that he needed to buy something today because I
Right
wasn't
now,
coming back
yeah,
tomorrow. Like it's just today. I'm here today. I've got coupons today. If you want to, like that type of high pressure, high intensity type of a sale. If you can do that, I'm convinced you can sell anything. And that's why I tell people if you want to get into sales, go to door to door for six
try
months
it.
6 to 12 months, and if you can figure that out, then you're going to be fine in sales. If you can't
Yes.
figure it
Yeah,
out,
you get
you
tough
know
skin fast.
oh
I was not that kind of person. Truthfully, as a kid, I was scared to death of everything. I was scared to death of wax museums. I mean, anything you think of, I was scared of. So the fact, even asking to go to the bathroom, my teacher. So the fact that I then became this person knocking on strangers' doors, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, absolutely. I mean, and Scott says that he owns a Kirby vacuum. So Scott, this is interesting. I had a Kirby vacuum salesman come to my house one time, and it was just me. My wife was actually gone, and I was like, "Yeah, come on in." And they did their whole thing, and I was like, "Man, this vacuum's amazing." So I'm texting my wife, and she's like, "You are not buying anything." I'm like, "But they're down to $1,800." So, anyways, so they get down to like 1,500. And I finally say no. I'm like, "Listen, I can't do this. My wife isn't here." And I get them out the door. Well, then we have some friends over. And I was telling the story about this, these vacuum salesmen that came by and they had this amazing Kirby. And I was like, like they started at like 3,000. I got them in the 1,500, but I just said no. I'm like, who buys a vacuum for $1,500? Well, guess what? Our guests at the house had a Kirby vacuum and they paid like 2,300. Talk about putting
Oh
your
my.
foot in the mouth. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
I was so embarrassed.
that is one of those like, oh shoot, I just said
Yeah,
that.
it's good to ask first. Hey, do you guys have a Kirby vacuum before you tell that story? But yeah, Scott, I'm with
Yes,
you on that. Those,
bingo,
those things are
bingo.
those
They're
things are
expensive, but they're worth it, guys.
they
And let
are.
me tell you, some of the things they do when you're doing that demo is
Yeah.
disgusting. Like it made me
Yeah.
like, ooh,
Yeah.
ew. So
Right.
yeah,
But they're amazing and they last a long time. So Scott, I'm sure you still have your Kirby and they work really well. For us, for Cutco, the guy that came to our house, he said, "Hey, cut this rope with one of your knives. Go get one of your sharpest knives." And I went and got a knife, and I'm telling you, nothing. Couldn't cut the rope. He goes, "Why don't you try with this one?" I took theirs and it was like butter through the rope. I'm
okay.
like, oh, so there's some good stuff out there. Give people a chance when they come to your door. They might actually have something that's going to
That's right. That's right. Not
benefit you.
everybody knocking on your door is selling you something that doesn't seem right. Sometimes it is a
Yeah.
good deal.
Well, and as somebody who's gone door to door, I actually like it when somebody comes to my door and I give them a shot. So I'm like, all right, what do you got? Go ahead and pitch me. What do you got? And
Yes,
I'll
I
give them a
love it. I
shot.
do the same.
And if it's good, I'll consider it, but I've got mad respect for people who are even willing to try that, because it's just not easy to throw yourself in the ring like that. And it's not for everybody. For sure. It's not for everybody, but it's awesome. So talk a little bit about how you got connected with Dan and what led to you guys starting Sales Chatter.
Yeah. So honestly, Dan just, so I'll make it as short as I can. But
Are
so
you
Dan,
Canadian, by the way? Are you also in Canada?
what's that?
Are you also in Canada? Are you Canadian?
No, I'm in
Where?
Cleveland.
You're in
I'm in
Cleveland. Okay.
Cleveland,
Oh, the
Ohio. Yep.
mistake by the Malik, as they say.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
All right. So how did you?
No,
How'd you
so anyways, I getting into logistics, I did pretty well. And so I started to have like this guilt. I made more money in logistics than I've made selling and doing anything else.
Yeah.
And so I had this like guilt. I'm like, I got to do something. So I ended up creating a Facebook group, Freight 101, to just try to help. Whenever I get involved in anything, I research like crazy. So I joined every Facebook group I could when I first got into freight brokering. And I got little tips, little information, but nothing very helpful. So I then would always see every so often people coming into these other groups saying, hey, I want to learn this. They won't hire you if you don't have experience, this and that. And it's like, I want to help people. Maybe this is what I could do. And so I created Freight 101 and it took off. And I was expecting maybe like a couple hundred people I could help. I think at one point I had like over 30,000. I think we're at like 25 or 26 now. But I just started giving anything that was helping me, any templates, any emails, any advice, anything that I thought could help. And Dan ended up reaching out to me from that group. We ended up connecting. He actually invited me onto HPLS podcast.
Yeah.
I did a podcast with him, and he's like, "Hey, you want to do your own podcast with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. This is fun."
Yeah,
and,
no, it is.
Well, that was it, man.
I love hearing about your heart of wanting to help other people out. I really think that is the crux of a true leader, is somebody that really wants to help other people out. Leadership is not about you. It's, some people think it is.
I get more joy from seeing other people succeed from something that I maybe had a little part of than me getting anything. I'd rather watch people succeed from a little bit of guidance or help that I could do. So that's
and your wins kind of come as a byproduct of that. Not only just the feeling that you get of helping people out, but like you said, like your success with that group, 30,000 people, it's nothing to to shy away from. That's pretty impressive. Thanks, and just these little things that you guys have, and now obviously the platform that you have with Dan, that's all a product of you wanting to help people out.
Yes, that's I loved his mission. It was his mission of wanting to help 10,000 reps reach the 2 Comma Club, and I was like, dude, I love it. I'm in. Yeah, whatever you want to do.
I know. I love it. Hey, check this out. So Scott unfortunately got $2,100 is what he had to pay for that thing, but it's worth it, because think about this.
Worth it. Listen,
this is the thing.
Think about how many vacuums you probably have bought, or
we can give the pitch.
That were junk.
Right. We can give the pitch. How often do you buy a vacuum? Every 2 years. You spend how much? $300. Okay, so in 10 years, you're going to spend $1,500 on a vacuum anyways. Once you buy this one, you'll never have to buy another one again. Like the whole pitch. We got the whole pitch down, but it is a good vacuum. So Scott, don't worry about it, man. It's just kind of the way it goes. And I honestly, like when I look back, this was in 2006. So think about this. That was 14 years ago, or 16 years ago now. And we've bought a lot of vacuums since then, Probably should have bought that.
You're kicking yourself. Listen, it's just like the Cutco. I'll tell you, Cutco, those knives are so sharp that, I mean, you will cut through. I've actually had it, and family members have had it. I sold those through. My brother sold those as well. But they're so sharp, you'll hit the bone and not even know it. I mean,
it's crazy.
Boom! Oh, ouch.
Crazy. I mean, whenever I cut things in the kitchen, man, with those things, I'm super careful because they are mad sharp, no doubt about it. And we have, like, you can send them back in to get them sharpened. We've had those knives since 2017 or 2018. We've never actually sent them back yet because they're still so sharp. I mean, we probably need to at some point, but like they're still cutting, tomatoes just sliced through like butter. So no worries, Scott. You got a great product, and you're probably better off than I am, having all these vacuums that have just, been subpar, as I guess we'll call that. So
That's
it's
right.
good. Yeah.
You've seen all this stuff that gets picked up after
Yeah.
after those vacuums from that Kirby. Come on.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. Oh, we live in such filth. All right. Well, anyways, not to harp on that too much. Let's talk a little bit about, I think that, when we talk about podcasting, I've got a lot of customers, a lot of prospects who are wanting to podcast now. Like this is becoming a much more common form of branding, of getting your message out there.
I think everybody should.
Yeah. I mean, and people think, oh, well, there's so many podcasts. There's too. No, there's not actually. And there's always a place, I think, for your voice and your experience. Everybody has a unique experience. Everybody has unique skills and talents. And I think that we're really missing out by people not being willing to jump in and talk about it, and have a podcast. But this is becoming a pretty popular form of marketing nowadays. And the entry point is so low.
Yes.
You could use your AirPods if you want, if you already have them, or you could buy, a microphone that's $100 and it costs maybe $5 to have a subscription to Buzzsprout, $10 to put content on. It's just not that big of a lift,
That's right.
But some people are afraid to put themselves out there.
And that's the biggest thing. I think that was my biggest fear starting this was, who's going to listen to me? Why do they even want to hear me?
Right.
What do I have to say that anybody's going to want to hear? And so, you have all of these, and again, it's just, it's our brain
getting out of your own way
just constantly and trying to protect us. Let's just be honest. It's trying to protect us, but it's keeping us from doing the things that we really should do.
Or maybe we really want to do, and it's not for everybody, but certainly, people have a heart to teach. People that want to help other people. That's a great purpose. If you want to get your brand out there and your message out there, it's such a great way to do that. And if you want to, podcasts can be used in a multitude of ways. You can use podcasts for lead generation. Think about this: if you are really wanting to get in with a large company, a prospect that you just had trouble with, why not reach out to the CEO and invite them on your podcast to tell their story? Not only do you provide them with some content, because you can give them the content and they've got now their story in podcast form, but it gives you a chance to meet somebody, for them to meet you and get to know you. And then you could potentially have a conversation after that. It's great for lead generation.
Yes,
it's great for marketing. There's just so many ways that you can use podcasts effectively. And so I'm excited that you guys have your show. I'm so thankful that you convinced me to start this one. And now my mind's like, what else do I want to start? What other podcasts I want to start, And we're thinking about doing a podcast just for truckers that we're going to launch here soon, which we're working on the details. Because I really want to talk to truck drivers, tell them thank you, and provide them just with the opportunity to connect and some of those types of things. So really excited about that. So let's do this. So I appreciate that, throwing this up on the screen. You guys can be found at sales-chatter.live on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And so make sure you guys are following Sales Chatter Live. If you're not, it's a great show. It's every day, Monday through Friday, and it's at 9 a.m. Eastern, I believe, correct?
Yeah, 9 a.m. till 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. And really, we did it. We toyed with times for a while, and it was just me and Dan actually went back and forth like we typically do off camera. But so we went back and forth, and he wanted a certain time, and I'm like, nah, I think we got to do it this time. I think we want. Again, my reasoning was, and the reason I fought for the show to be at that time was being in in-home sales, and even what we do, a lot of brokers who are out there just doing this on their own. You feel like you're on an island. You feel like you're alone. Even if you're working for another company, you feel like you're just alone. And you're getting beat up and alone. And so a few companies I worked at used Slack or GroupMe, and I thought that was great. But then I thought, well, why don't we have people start the day, get excited, I'll teach them something, we'll get them excited, or at least just get them ready to get beat up, because they're going to. And sales is not easy. It's not for everybody, but it's amazing. If you really enjoy what you do. So.
What's funny? That's a door-to-door sales strategy right there, because every day before we go out into the field, for door-to-door, we'd have these powwow meetings to get pumped up about the day. We'd learn some things. We kind of get excitement, get the energy up, get the day going, because you go out there, man, you're going to get beat up. You're going to get, hey, get the hell out of my office. I heard that all the time. I'm going to call the cops, and there's no solicitation.
You see no soliciting? I'll call the cops. Yeah.
Did you ever get ran off of someone's property? I'm sure you did in residential.
Oh, dude.
Like, get off my lawn, or get out of here, get off my porch, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, right? People having bad days. Sometimes they've had bad experience with a sales rep before, and that guy ruined it for you, you know. And I think the moment that I knew that I kind of had figured this thing out was when I was no longer afraid of those moments. And I actually looked forward to those moments, because you can turn those moments and make somebody laugh. And if you can get somebody to laugh, you just might have a shot. You might have a shot. I remember, I think I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. I remember the first time that I was out in the field with a trainer, and we came across a no solicitation sign. And I was like, oh man, we can't go in there. And he's like, why not? I'm like, well, they got a no solicitation sign. He goes, so we go in. I'm probably just stark white. I'm probably nervous. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're doing this. And this guy goes in, and sure enough, they said, hey guys, we have a no solicitation sign up there. And this guy, cool as a cucumber, he goes, oh yeah, I saw that, but it looked old. I mean, how long have you guys had that? I mean, listen, hey, we have new signs that can, they're bigger, they're brighter, and keep guys like us out of here. And we sell those along with things like paper and toner that you're going to need anyways. So why don't we just go ahead and, just do a deal real quick? Like, he was not concerned at all.
Smooth. That's what you have to do that, though. You have to have that ability to just kind of brush this, but that's sales. Again, sometimes there have instant responses, and that's probably the most helpful thing I learned from door to door. People have those automatic responses, just like retail. You show up. What up, Jeff?
Jeff Dickinson in the house. DJ is a good man.
Thank
100%.
you.
Thanks for watching the show, Jeff. Appreciate you.
So retail, same thing. It's I'm just looking. They want to say that right away. Everybody has an auto response. It's like their wall that quickly comes up. And you just have to, in sales, you have to figure out what is that auto response and what is real. And sometimes, those quick, didn't you see? I would actually, sometimes I would joke and just start speaking Spanish. No hablo inglés. And they'd be like, huh? And then it'd throw them off and they'd laugh. And I'd say, no, I actually don't even speak Spanish. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Or if we were working with, sometimes we had a trainer in a trainee situation, we'd go in and we'd say, hey, during your pitch, you've got to use the word elephant at least twice. And so like going in and trying to find a way to get it in there and then seeing if they'll why are you saying elephant? Kind of gets their attention. So all kinds of just fun games you can play in door to door.
That's Super Troopers, right? Meow.
Wow. Yeah. If you can get somebody to laugh in door to door, you got a shot. You got a shot, man. If you can make someone's day, you got a shot.
Humor will always bring a wall down.
100%. No, it's good to kind of hear your experiences as well, along with mine, which is good. So let's go back to the podcasting thing for a little bit. Yeah. So, again, podcasting to me is an underutilized tool when it comes to business, when it comes to branding and messaging and getting the story out there. But I think it's shifting a little bit. People are starting to get a little bit more comfortable doing it. What's some of your best advice for somebody who thinks they might want to start a podcast, especially if they're wanting to use it from a business standpoint?
So I think, Dan, again, Dan is, I call him my sales Yoda. He's a genius, man. And he's had a lot of experience with this stuff. The fact that he has the whole HBLS program. We don't even talk about it. He doesn't use it as a sales tool. It's just like an afterthought.
Most people probably don't know what the acronym stands for.
Yeah, they probably have no clue. High performance logistics sales is actually what it stands for.
Right.
But yeah, he doesn't. We don't even talk about it because it's more just, we really wanted it to be, and that's why we don't have a script. We don't have set questions. We don't have anything direction other than, hey, we kind of know this about you. We talk a little bit pre-show, and then let's just let this flow because we want it to be really a genuine conversation. Actually, and it's funny because Dan's dad was blasting him like, quit looking over on the side, and he's like, Dad, I'm not, this is not a training, I'm not going to stare in the thing, and we want this to be real, we want this to be raw, and right in the moment, and I love that, and I think that's probably the biggest key. Don't try to think or find an audience that you think you have to target and be something else. Just be you, and the audience will come to you. Your audience 100%. Will find you. And
be authentic. Just be who you are. I mean, just be whatever. I mean, Chris Jolly's out there. He's doing a great job, but that guy's going to drop F-bombs. That's not me. We're just different, right? So I'm not going to try to be like Chris and be that person. I'll just be myself.
That's right.
The other thing that goes along with that authenticity, that being real aspect, that's one reason why I love going live, and I'm sure you guys too. You can't fake it, and you can't edit it, and you can't make it look better. Like, this is
Look,
it.
look
This
at our
is
show
what we
this
have.
morning. It was so rough. Brian was coming in and out. Me and Dan were like, crap, do we cut him? Do we just keep going? What do we do with this? But
Yeah.
that's what's
I've had those
amazing.
situations too, where, like, audio technical issues, whatever happens, and I've had to take somebody out and just go solo, which kind of took me back to my radio days, back in college, like just having to fill airtime, right, and just hoping that they'll come back for the episode and we can finish. But when you go, that's what I love, going live, because it's authentic, and I think that scares some people because of that, because it's authentic, because you can't polish it up. But I would encourage people to go live for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and see what it's like. See what comes out of that. Because I think when you record a podcast, when you go that route, you can certainly make a really good podcast, but sometimes you might feel the temptation to edit it out, make it sound better, when the truth is, like, authenticity is 100% the way to go. And so that's great advice, man. I love that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, and that's the key. It really is. I think when we try to position ourselves to something, we think, I would like we talk about on the show. Me and Dan were both we thought sales that to be the best salesperson, we had to suit and tie and be all of these things that we still end up doing, but we don't
exactly.
have to.
And I'm laughing because Scott just said, I think I've come into, the word on the street 3 times muted. I think it's way more than 3 times, Scott. Like, it might be like 10 or 11. I don't know that you've come in unmuted, just to be fair. But you get those kind of technical, issues or difficulties, but it's real. It's real. And I think in this era, where we are so siloed and people are working from home and they don't necessarily have some of these connections. And I also think that social media has caused us to be kind of siloed and lonely. I think people really want these authentic moments, these authentic relationships, this engagement where, Scott's there, where Jeff's there, where these guys are making comments and we're able to engage and interact. Like, there's something really powerful about that. And so I love going live. Oh, it's a classic. Yeah. So I was doing, I was recording.
That's one of your intro videos, right? I see
was recording it at my parents' house, and I told my dad, and I said, listen, I'm going live. Don't come in the room. Well, he doesn't care. He's 79. He's like, I needed my wallet, so I'm going in the room. I don't care. I'm not waiting for your podcast to finish. So he literally he comes in, and I was kind of shocked, like, oh, and I even said, we're live here. I'm like, okay, we're doing it. So I'm like I'm moving my stuff up. I mean, it was hilarious, right? But it created a really light moment, but that was real. I can't.
It's real. Yes.
So
and
real.
Those kind of moments are what is a lot of people will then resonate to, or that they'll like that you had that and you had that raw moment.
And it created the highlight reel for the intro.
Yes.
Which, so that moment would have been missed if we were just editing it out. There's no way I would have put it in if we were editing it out. But, the fact that it was real, it's like, it was there. So, I think there's a lot to be said about just being authentic and being who you are and not being afraid to be yourself, not being afraid to go live and do it. And if it doesn't work out perfectly, you're going to get better. This is the one thing I've learned in life, DJ. If you want to be good at something, you have to be willing to be bad for a while. Yes. You have to, because nobody starts out great at anything. Like, even if you have some talent, like maybe you have eye-hand coordination for a sport, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be great right away, and you're surely not going to be the best of the best. You have to be okay. I remember when I started playing golf, I had some buddies take me to play. I was a baseball player. I had some buddies take me to play, and I missed the ball my first 3 swings, completely missed the ball. And I shot something in the high 50s on a par 30 in my first 9 holes. I mean, that was terrible. Oh, yeah. But for some reason in that point in my life, DJ, and I can't even explain what it was. I think I was just so passionate about golf. It just got into my blood. For some reason, I didn't care if I hit bad shots. I just wanted to keep hitting shots. And because I didn't care being bad, I was never discouraged when I was bad. And I just kept working at it. And then after a while, it was like, oh, wow, I'm pretty good at this. I got better at this. But I think what people do is they give up when they're not good, instead of just saying, what, it doesn't matter if I'm not good. I'll just keep working to get better and keep after it. And when you love something, when you're passionate about it, that's the only route to go. But I think that's true here too. People aren't going to be great when they first go live, or maybe they will, but more than likely they won't. It's okay, and it'll get better.
You'll still find an audience because somebody will resonate with what you're saying.
100%. Everybody has their own story. Everybody's unique, So anyways, hey, listen, we're at 30 minutes. This just flies by. You know that. I'm so glad, man, that you were able to jump in today. I mean, I was looking forward to talking to Dan, but man, like, this has been pleasant. I can't wait to have him back on the show, have you on the show again, and just excited for what you guys are doing. And thank you, by the way. Thank you for your
keep doing what
encouragement.
you're doing, man. You're killing it. So.
Thank you for your confidence in me. It just means a lot. I appreciate it, man. You've become a really good friend. And one of these days we'll actually, see each other in person.
Yes.
Soon.
That's why I was asking you about the Tough Mudder, but yeah, eventually I want to come to one of those.
You should totally come to that. The Tough Mudder coming up is October 29th. It's in Dallas. It's actually in Granbury, Texas, which is outside of Fort Worth. But we've got a team that we're putting together. We're going to raise money for ALS patients right here in St. Louis. So it's going to be an awesome weekend. And if you guys can if you can come to that, dude, you would love it. It's so much fun.
I can't wait.
So just go to toughmudder.com/Dallas, or you can actually go to the website, to our website, and go to the events page, because the information is now on our events page at betaconsultinggroup.com. Yeah. So it's going to be a blast. I'm still looking for some title sponsors to partner with us. I got a couple that I'm working on that hopefully we have that. So we'll have some announcements coming up soon, but that would be a great time for us to meet. I would really enjoy that. We'd love for you to participate as well. Also, everybody watching the show, thank you for being a part of the show today. We appreciate that. Make sure you come back tomorrow. We got a great episode tomorrow. My good friend Nate Schutz, who is a podcaster as well and logistics executive, he's going to be on the show tomorrow. And as you can see, we had an incredible lineup of guests this week. So go check the rest of them out on demand, either here on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And check those out as well. And we're now streaming to Facebook as well. So if you're on Facebook, thanks for watching on Facebook as well. DJ, man, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate you being on the show, man.
Of course.
That was awesome. Everybody else, thanks so much. Be sure to check us out at betaconsultinggroup.com, or check out TAFS, our sponsor at TAFS.com. We appreciate them. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow for another episode of Standing Out, a daily podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. We'll see you guys soon.
See ya.